Want to Be an Assessor?
Hello.
And welcome to So You Want to Be an Assessor. Today, right, I am one of your hosts, Caitlin Reeder, and I am joined with my other co-host, Maybeth Shepard.
That's me. That's me. All right. So
I need to really come up with an intro that I could just blah, 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 and it's the same every time, but I just haven't.
Why would we do that?
I know.
It would sound canned, and we don't need to do that. This is more real.
That's fair.
All right. So we are going to talk about, we're going to do some more deep dive on methods. Is that what we decided?
Yes.
All right. Great. So why don't you start us off?
All right. Well, I was thinking we could start with the super long, super complicated method that is paint filter.
Ooh, paint filter. Love it. It has like a number. I'm trying to remember. It's an EPA method, right?
I believe so, yes. Do I know the number off the top of my head? Absolutely not. Because weirdly enough, I don't see it all that often.
It's kind of crazy how many people still do it. It's kind of, and it's rarely an actual paint filter. I'm looking it up. It's going to be crazy. I'm going to, be able to find it soon. Okay. Note to self, do not search for paint filter. Because
did it give you an HGTV site or something?
Well, it's all the paint filters, not the paint filter test. There we go. It's an SW846 9095. See, now we know a number. I feel so much more educated now. But yeah, most of the time when we see this test, it's done on waste to try and determine if there's any liquid in and why they call it a paint filter test is because it was literally written to use filters that you filter paint through. Of course, then they put in details that cause laboratories problems.
Mm-hmm.
So they say, like a medium fine mesh or something equally ambiguous.
You mean it can't just be huge filters that we run things through?
Right, that the little gravel in your sidewalk will run through. Yeah, no, it's expected to be a little bit finer than that. Let's see. They say it's got to be a conical paint filter.
I have written that up before, where it's not necessarily in a cone shape.
It's not a cone. It's just you can't use the what is the? It's not a sieve. The colanders that you use for spaghetti in the kitchen. Can't use that. And then
that makes sense. You also probably can't use a sieve that you would use in the kitchen for sieving flour or anything, which is slightly finer.
And right, because for your beignets you need the powdered sugar.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you got to have those. Yeah, no, it says a mesh number 60 plus or minus 5%. Back when this method was written, it's got a date of 2004. Look, I pulled it up. This is actually a revision 2. I don't think that mesh number is this current way to go. Mesh number was back in the early 2000s, evidently, or maybe even before that. And they thought they were making it better, but not so much. And it says it's available at local paint stores such as Sherwin-Williams and Glidden. Is Glidden still a store?
I've never heard of them. I have heard of Sherwin-Williams though, as I got my paint for my house from there.
Yeah. So I don't even know if Glidden. I think they still. I've seen their paints, but I don't remember when I last saw their paints. So anyway, that's a couple of most of the hard things about this method are getting the right equipment. And
Yes.
so you have to, if you go to Sherwin-Williams or Glidden and get a paint filter, you need some documentation to prove that it's a 60 mesh, whatever 60 mesh is, and something that shows that it's good enough for this. Anyway, and it's kind of funny because if really all you're trying to do is figure out is there liquid in this, honey will go through any size mesh, and it's liquidy. So I don't know but does it really matter if it's a 63 or a 70 or a 90? The 10 mesh is the one that has like holes that are about this big, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or something. So that is definitely too big because stuff would just fall straight through. So yeah, it's hard right now because you have to get something that meets the method, and then you have to prove that you've met the method. Those tend to be the biggest hurdles that we end up with, or things that we write up for this particular test.
Mm-hmm. Very equipment based, because this one, if I recall, also has a timer. And we've kind of gone over some timer logistics and thoughts. But we can go a little bit deeper into timer logistics and thoughts, because timers are used for a whole bunch of things, not just for this method, but also for a bunch of other ones. And those timers have to be NIST calibrated, NIST verified, NIST accurate. I've seen it written a bunch of different ways, but basically, your seconds have got to be real seconds.
Well, and it's a question of, does it have to be NIST certified every year? The only one test that I'm aware of that has that requirement is autoclave testing, which is stupid, in my opinion, that it be that close for your autoclave. I mean, you don't want it off by a minute, but NIST certified seconds, somebody was having fun writing it, I guess. And so, and then because it specifically says that it's NIST certified, you have to verify it every year. Now, for these methods that don't say NIST certified, or say like a or could be or something, with more wiggle, more flexibility in the terms, then I don't require that they get recertified every year, and or you go buy a new one every year. We've been in more than one lab that they come with a 2-year expiration date on them, NIST certified timers. And unfortunately, you can't use the second year under a T&I program if you have to have something that's NIST certified. It has to be annually. So you kind of end up having to throw it away. Not really literally throw it away, but
you just give it to a different portion of whatever it is that you're using, or
use it on a different test that's not as specifically detailed. Maybe. So yeah, there is a timer portion of this. It says allow the sample to drain for 5 minutes. So 5
That's
minutes.
I call those hard times when the method says 5 minutes, exactly 7, 1 hour, or those really hard times. And then there's fluffy times. Hard times need a timer. Fluffy times don't necessarily. If it says over an hour, then it's like, okay, hour is a minimum.
Right.
Over that, fluffy.
Yes, yes. And so you have to have something to prove that you let it drain for 5 minutes. It can't have sat there for an hour while you went to lunch. Because then when you come back, and if there is any droplet underneath, you don't know if it happened in the first 5 minutes. And I guess you're okay if there's nothing underneath.
But that's a
but you're gambling.
Yeah, that's a risk that you might be willing to take. I'm not sure I would.
Well, you may know your samples. I'm aware of an assessor that once said that you have to do a matrix spike or you have to have a matrix blank for these things, and since they're solids, then you have to have something that you put into the filter to prove that your filter doesn't drip with just any old thing in it. So they suggested putting a tennis ball in there. All right. It's
sure.
Solid glass beads work too, as long as they're, well, because with a 60 mesh, then glass beads do not go through that. I don't even think the ones that we use for bracelets and that sort of thing would go through. It's too fine of a mesh. So,
anyway. Wow, that is a new one to me. I guess that's a creative way to do some of that QC problems, but knowing me, I would have chosen something like peanut butter and just totally messed myself up.
Probably because, peanut butter, I have seen it separate.
Mm-hmm.
And if the oil, because the oil would be able to go through.
Yeah.
But does it separate in less than 5 minutes?
According to TSA, it is a liquid.
It's like, here, let me prove it to you. It's not. I've got a paint filter. I've got a setup. I can prove it to you with a test.
I have had many an argument with a TSA agent over peanut butter. Most of the time, it's not worth it. Not worth their time, not worth my time. However, when I was young and broke, I did fight it and I won.
Sometimes you think that TSA, they're getting a little too picky. But yeah. So looking at the method, it says quality control, duplicate samples should be analyzed on a routine basis. Now that's a lot of wiggle room.
That is. What is a routine basis?
Yeah, I do it annually, whether I like it or not. Usually on my QC samples.
I was going to say when I have a real sample.
I have a real sample, which is PT samples. So I think that T&I, module 4, is going to trump that and say that duplicates have to be done once per batch. That if the method requires duplicates at some point, and so therefore T&I is going to tell you that you have to do it at least every batch. And then it's like, and yes, you should matrix match. You should have some kind of solid that you put into your filter to prove that the filter doesn't create liquid all by itself. It's like, is that a blank?
I would consider that a blank.
Yeah.
If it's solid and it doesn't create liquid by itself, it could be both a matrix match for a test for your filter as well as a blank. but what do
Oh.
I know?
Look, I'm reading the method. This is crazy to do this sort of thing, but in order to assure uniformity and standardization of the test, materials such as sorbent pads or pillows, which do not conform to the shape of the paint filter, should be cut into small pieces and poured into the filter. So you can cut up sorbent pads and pillows and put them into the filter.
I love that. I love that someone like probably took like, the cotton cloths or the plastic pipettes and just cut it up and said, there you go.
And we're done.
We're done. We did it. I will say for this method, I have seen it entirely once, and I did I did follow an assessor who had found years of things wrong with paint filter. I'm talking, I don't know, at least 8 years of findings for just paint filter. It was very impressive. So by the time I got there, I was like, this is overkill.
Wow, you've done all of the things.
You did all of this work for paint filter that you do for what, PTs? Maybe one guy.
Yeah. Now in waste, not necessarily wastewater plants, but I've seen it done there. But for actual waste disposal companies, that they will do it. It's like, okay, we have this great big train car full of waste. We need to characterize the waste. We need to say this is what it is and what it does. And so this is one of the tests that they do on it. They also do TCLP and check the pH and see how much it'll break down and that sort of stuff.
Huh.
So yeah, paint filter is, the name really doesn't, it tells you the equipment. That's about all it tells you.
But it doesn't tell you how specialized that equipment has to be.
Well, it does in the details, but
in the details.
So, yeah.
So, if you are a lab listening to this and your lab does paint filter, drop it in the comment below. I'm trying to get an idea of just how relevant this is out there for some of y'all. I just know we have a database, and the database has a lot of paint filter in it as far as things that have been written to a specific method. I would say it's like pH, conductivity, paint filter, which is hilarious.
I know, because, well, and on one hand, is it because they're never looked at, and when they are looked at, it's like, oh, I actually read the method before I came in here, and the method says blah, and you didn't read the method or read that line in the method, because that's what a lot of these things are, right. is just the specificity in the methods. It's not that they're hard to do, and it's not that the answer changes if you do it with a 60 mesh filter versus an 80 mesh, or versus the chances of the answer changing are pretty slim. It's going to depend on what kind of waste you're working with in this case, or what kind of solid. How big are the granules of sand. Is your dirt sandy? So anyway, can you believe we've already spent 20 minutes?
Wow,
I think
that's crazy.
Or pretty close on paint filter.
That's pretty amazing.
9095B. It has a number. Yeah.
Just to add a little bit more layers to paint filter, because we're on it right now, and if we touch on these layers now, we won't have to later. Documenting things. you have to write down all those, the lot numbers on paint filters.
Other
I feel like
filters,
very rarely come with a lot number themselves because
right?
they're not
Sherwin-Williams
necessarily,
doesn't care.
yeah, they're not
Yeah.
necessarily known for their lab equipment.
Exactly. So that's okay. You can assign a lot number. You can say, we bought all these on this day and name it by the date. I don't care. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But then you have to document which set of filters was used on a particular batch of samples.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there's also temperature.
Oh,
We didn't talk about temperature.
We haven't. You're right.
Because what if you've got a frozen sample? It might not drip if it's frozen.
That's true. Ice, as a solid, does not drip
Until it melts. And
until
does it
it
melt in
starts
5 minutes?
Yep. Until it gets warm.
Maybe that's how you test your 5 minutes. If the ice is melted and you then have liquid, it must have been more than 5 minutes. I would have to do a test to see how quickly ice melts at 25 degrees.
Well, and then depending on, where you are in the state, I bet it could be different because right now we have ice outside and it is melting so slow.
That's true because it's cooler there than here.
It is.
It's 90 degrees here.
Wow.
Don't you miss it?
Like a dream. I miss that. Genuinely, I am in like a sweatshirt and it is fleece lined and it is so cold.
Yeah. Sorry to put out there and remind you what you're missing.
Yeah, it was snowing yesterday and I was like, we just had spring. What the heck?
I know, didn't we have like the first of spring? That was an actual official day.
That was. It was March 20th was the official first day of spring. It is now a few days past that. It's probably a lot past that by the time this gets uploaded.
True. Just to be fair, because we don't upload it immediately.
We do not. It takes a little bit of time to edit these things.
Yeah. So anyway, temperature is.
And with that temperature, you need a thermometer that is, again, NIST traceable, NIST verified, NIST calibrated, but is not a NIST thermometer unless you are,
have to be.
Extra.
Right. You can.
You
we
can.
don't complain if it's a NIST thermometer, but it's usually not
recommended.
That kind of money on a thermometer for paint filter.
No.
So
I wouldn't.
No.
But to each their own.
Yeah, we won't complain about it.
Mm-hmm. And again,
so there's the documentation. You have to have all of the stuff written down. Who did it? What the sample was duplicated. How many grams of sample did you use? The requirement, by the way, is 100. We didn't talk about that. That's another one that.
Exactly 100 every single time.
Yeah, well, the method has a few wiggle words, but they're not helpful. It says 100 mil or 100 gram representative sample is required for the test. If it is not possible to obtain a sample of 100 mils or 100 grams that is sufficiently representative, the analyst may use larger sample sizes, such as 200, 300, 400.
So let's say, for example, like I was given a truckload of tire pieces, like that would go to a usual like playground or something, but they're just tire pieces. And getting 100 grams of rubber, kind of hard. Not to mention 100 milliliters, not exactly feasible with a solid.
Right. Well, and the other fun thing is that you're supposed to break it down into 100 grams. Now, what about paint chips? A lot of labs get paint chips that they're supposed to. It's a heck of a lot of paint chips to
That's
weigh
a
100
lot.
grams.
Paint chips.
And, they get a little bit of it in a baggie. So
Aw.
you're not allowed. The method does not say what to do if you have less than 100. It assumes you have at least 100 and that you can break portions down into 100. It only talks about going over. So my recommendation in those cases is to put in your SOP that you know you're going to get less than 100 and you're going to qualify it and or make sure that your client knows that's what you're looking for. And know that it's basically a method modification, which you can do on this because it's not drinking water.
It's also very important that when you do end up weighing however much paint chips or tire pieces or sand, whatever it is that you end up with, that weight is directly from the balance to the sheet, whatever number it gives you. Now that does open up the question of, hey, now I've got another piece of support equipment, a balance. Yay!
So you have to keep track of it too and give it all of its goodness every year. Needs to have somebody come in and verify it. And then you have to verify it every day.
Before use.
Every day before use. So I used the wrong word a minute ago. It's not very... Annually, you have to have somebody come in and calibrate it. That's not verification. They calibrate it. And then you verify it every day. Bracketing range of use. So if you're weighing out 100 grams, you need to weigh something less than 100 from your weight set and something bigger than 100 from your weight set. Yeah.
Sounds good.
All right, so we've talked about the support equipment. We've talked about the equipment. We've talked about the method.
We talked a little bit about documentation. I think we've hit paint filter, all of our usual trouble spots.
True. So, yeah, happy paint filtering.
To all 5 of you out there who get to do it.
Yes. So let us know if you're one of those, and and tell us if there's anything that we missed. It's entirely possible.
Yeah, if there's anything you've been written up for before on this method.
The method is 4 pages long. 1 page is a picture of your paint filter setup. Page 4 is a flow chart of how to do the method. Pages 1 and 2 are the actual method with all of the different pieces.
So the procedure itself is like...
The procedure starts on page 2, probably 3 inches in, and finishes on page 2, 4 inches from the bottom. So, it's not long.
All right.
Anyway, okay. So, let us know what you want to hear about. Subscribe. There's a button, a bell, or something.
There are like buttons. There is a subscribe button. There is a bell notification icon. If you want to get messages anytime we post.
Do you know which way it is?
I always just kind of go up here in the doobly-doob, because if I were to try and click it on my viewing, that's where it would be, which means it's probably flipped and over there. It's somewhere. It's a scavenger hunt. Go and find it.
Good luck.
Have fun. And as always, if you have any questions, you feel free to comment down below. We do read those. Email us at assessorpod@gmail.com. Reach out to us on Facebook, our individuals or separates, or the one that is made for the podcast itself. Yeah, we'll be posting every month at least, if not twice a month, is my goal for this
All right, we have a
season
goal.
of podcasting.
Excellent.
And if you like our content, there's more somewhere here. So hopefully you watch it all and enjoy it.
Yep, I love it. Okay.
So thanks and bye.